Alright, number 44, which values of x is the expression undefined? And so here, the undefined, what makes an expression undefined is if we have a 0 on the bottom, because we cannot divide by a 0. So what you need to do is factor the bottom, and so we're going to have what numbers multiply to negative 18, and they're going to add to positive 3. So that's going to be a positive 6 and a negative 3. And so what makes this 0? And what makes this 0? So the values that make it undefined are negative 6 and positive 3. So now, at what point does this graph have a hole? So you're going to want to factor the top. And so, let's see here, when numbers multiply to negative 12, but add to a negative 11, and so that would be negative 12 and a positive 1. And remember, since we have this 4 here, we have to divide by 4, and then we have to reduce our fraction. And so this becomes negative 3 over 1. And so now the bottom number is my leading coefficient. And so this becomes 1x minus 3. And this is going to be my 4x plus 1. So just do a quick little check. X times 4x gives us the 4x squared, and negative 3 times 1 gives us that negative 3. And so these will give us negative 12. This will give us a positive 1, so it does work out. Alright, so now we see that the x minus 3 and the x minus 3 are going to cancel. And so this function simplifies to 4x plus 1. And so now to figure out where the hole is at, you go back to the term we crossed out. And so what would make this 0? And so that would be 3. And so what we're going to do is, since it's a point, we know it's going to be 3 comma something. So that gives us our x value of the hole. And so now you take the 3 and just plug it in. And so 4 times 3 plus 1, 12 plus 1 is 13. Alright, so we're going to simplify. And so what I like to do is reduce this first. So I'm going to have the 6 and 8. The 6 and 8 are going to reduce to a 3 over 4. And so now you look at the x's. Well, where do you have more x's, on top or on bottom? So since you have them on top, that's where your answer is going to go. And now you just subtract. 4 minus 3 gives me 1. Where do you have more y's, on top or bottom? So I have more y's on the bottom. And now you subtract. 5 minus 2 gives me 3. And so now we'll simplify this before we take care of the division. So 2 over 12 becomes 1/6. The x over x just cancels away, so we don't have to worry about it. And there's nothing to change the y, so it's going to stay y squared. So now both fractions are completely simplified. So now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, and so it's going to be 6y squared over 1. And so now I'm just going to multiply across. I know that I could reduce the 6 and the 4, but I'm just going to go straight across and get 18y squared over 4xy cubed. And I just like having everything lined up. So now I can reduce. 18 over 4 reduces to 9 halves. There's nothing to cancel out the x, so the x stays on the bottom. Where do you have more y's? On the bottom. So 3 minus 2 gives me 1. So this expression turns into this.